Hey folks, this is Matt once again, and welcome back to another review. And this time it is of the 2009 Steven Seagal film, A Dangerous Man. They started this, he'll finish it. And this is one of those films that it's definitely not one of his worst movies. At the end of the day, can I really say I liked it? No. So it'll be like a mild rant. Because there are a couple movies that I just go, eh. And people are like, what do you mean a mild rant? Well, a mild rant is, it didn't make me mad, angry, to the point of yelling like Attack Force, or Black Dawn, or Against the Dark. And there's a couple of films like that coming up. Born to Raise Hell. I think that's actually the next one. Force of Execution, one called Absolution, but that's only because Byron Mann, who's actually in this film, as well as he was in Billy the Beast. He's been in 3 Steven Seagal films. He was also in the Jean-Claude Van Damme film Street Fighter as Ryu. But they're not films that I hate and it's like me yelling and screaming. But at the same time, if I'm like, did I really enjoy it? Not really. But it's one of those that it has some stuff going for it, and the fact that at least this one is a bit more polished, and the look of it looks a little bit polished. Some nice sort of decent cinematography, some bits of orange, not horrible orange, but it's a decent looking film. It starts off all right. Right off the bat, his wife is being carjacked, and Seagal beats the fuck out of the guy. He's like, come back, we'll kill you, you bitch. Later on, the carjacker's found dead. Seagal gets accused, put into jail, and 6 years later, while his wife has left him, which I'm like, wow, what a bitch. This guy saved your life from a carjacker, and after 6 years, nope, sorry, I can't go, I can't wait anymore. Granted, I know it's 6 years, but still, this guy saved your life from a carjacking, and it makes me say the woman was a bitch. And he gets out 6 years later because he didn't really kill the guy. And it was found out by evidence that he didn't kill the guy. So he gets out of jail and he gets about $300,000 in cash as a settlement. But Seagal goes, well, money can't buy back my wife and my family, my life that I lost. And I'm like, okay, this is starting off decently. This is starting off, not too much lollygagging, alright. And he buys some alcohol from a store, and then the first hiccup. Some bad dubbing once again, where it's not Seagal's voice. Granted, it's not as much as, say, Attack Force or Submerged. Someone said, if you think about it percentage-wise, about 30% of the film of his talking is dubbed. It should be 0%. That's my point. So that takes me out of the film whenever his non-voice pops up. I hate that shit. It's such an easy thing to do, too. And that shit just annoys the piss out of me anytime it happens. Just how can I enjoy the action star in the film? It's one thing if there's no way it's out of the star's control. For example, it was a new film they did, or not a new film, Jackie Chan, when films were being brought back to Hong Kong and to America, and he wasn't really given an opportunity to dub them, like Police Story 2. Police Story 2, it's not Jackie Chan's voice. I don't really blame that on him. I don't think he was even asked to. But this, Seagal in these direct-to-video films, he's an executive producer on it, and he's starring in it, and he's done like 4 or 5 movies total with Keoni Waxman, who in one interview I saw that he's a personal friend of Seagal. So I think Seagal could go back and do his own fucking ADR, his own voice. It's laziness, and it just drives me up the fucking wall in these movies. So that's one reason that I don't love, it pisses me off. It's not that hard. Go back and dub your own fucking voice, Seagal. Almost every actor in Hollywood does it. Movies big and small. Just production either too loud, trains, planes, automobiles are going by, construction's nearby, you go in, you redo the voice, or you speak fucking louder. Because if you're speaking too soft, and like, well, we gotta do a voice here, just speak louder. Director, don't be a fucking scared and say, Suro, we need you to talk louder. That's part of your fucking job as an actor. To talk and have your own fucking voice. It's not like Seagal doesn't know the English language. And how many films are we in that he's done? And how many direct-to-video films has he done? Hell, just from 2003 to now, how many films of direct-to-video? Come on. So I don't give any leeway on that. That's bullshit. So I'm like, oh, great. But, I mean, these 2 guys tried to rob him. He fucks these guys up. Another problem is the jumpy editing. It's one of those films that has some really jump cut editing and sort of shaking of the camera. I hate that. You don't need that in a movie. Granted, I don't notice as much doubles as other films, and there's little bits that I like. For example, he disarms the guy's gun, so it's just the chamber's gone, and then he uses that to punch the guy in the face, almost like stabbing him in the face and neck. I like that idea and bit. And the guy is wobbly, and Seagal kicks him, and the guy just thrusts right through the window of the car window. Almost as if here's the window, and the guy went ass first into it or something, or his back first and just crumples into the car from the outside. I like that bit. Nuts this guy out, takes their car. Meanwhile, Seagal stops somewhere and he's just drinking and looking out because of what happened with his life. And this cop nearby stops these 2 Asian guys. And these 2 Asian guys are bad guys, and they have a shitload of money, and they have guns, and they shoot the cop. And then meanwhile, you have these 2 other guys who are bystanders, just hanging out, or they're doing some other stuff, but one runs away and gets shot by the bad guy, so the other's trying to hide. I don't know what Seagal's doing at this time, except instead of trying to help the cop and sneak to help him, because they don't kill him right away. The guy's on the ground. They're kind of fucking around with stuff. No, Seagal puts a fucking handkerchief or whatever in his own car, lights his own car on fire, and blows up his own car. The one that he stole from those guys trying to mug him from before. The best I can understand, it was used for as a distraction, maybe? Because while after the cop's killed and then the car blows up, then Seagal starts to fight the 2 guys. So, okay, couldn't you? Okay, whatever. But he beats the hell out of one guy, and at least once in a while you get some wide shots of Seagal beating this guy in the face, and a knee to the face, and sort of this straight forearm chop to the head. So at least there's a couple wide shots. Granted, it's that jumpy editing, which I don't care for, but at least there's some wide shots. So it's like, I've seen much worse. But there's still moments that just bug me to the point that I have to put some kind of rant on there because there's some bits of yelling from me. But again, it's mild compared to shit coming up like The Perfect Weapon, and not the Jeff Speakman film, the one that Seagal's in, where he flies away in a future helicopter slash spaceship after his fucking twin dies. I'll get to that. What? I'll get to that. Trust me. But the bystander there, Seagal gets to him. They get out of there. Seagal's got the money. He also found this unconscious girl in the trunk of these bad guys' car, and they drive off into this small town. And the woman wakes up and she explains how the cops around there killed her friends, and they were trying to go from China to the U.S. And her uncle is supposed to be arriving, and she wants to make sure that her uncle is safe. And it deals with people. The guy's sort of an accountant, and it deals with the Chinese military. Anyway, and your main bad guy is Byron Mann, who was Seagal's friend in Belly of the Beast, and he would later be in a film called Absolution. And Byron Mann, I would say the cast do fine. Byron Mann, I like him as an actor. He does fine in this. With the little bits he's given to do. He doesn't really he's not able to show his martial arts, but he does decent acting. But it's nothing to run home about, but I like Byron Mann. And Seagal finally, when they get to the motel, Seagal says, I want you to shut the fuck up and talk to me straight. And that's where she tells all that's going on. Meanwhile, that bystander that was with Seagal and the woman is actually the son of a Russian mobster that doesn't run the town, but he's in that town. And the Russian mobster boss, thanks Seagal. These asshole cops. Well, he thanks Seagal later, but these asshole cops who were working with Byron Mann and the bad guys, they go up to the Russian guy, and the Russian guy talks about how, well, we fuck cops' mouths when we run out of farm animals. And I'm like, what the fuck kind of line of dialogue is that? It's because the cop is going, well, what are you doing? We're cops. And the Russian guy's pretty much trying to illustrate that he's not afraid of the cops. But that kind of dialogue, we fuck cops' mouths when we run out of farm animals. And I'm like, don't say that kind of dialogue. The fuck? If you don't believe me, watch the movie. That dialogue pops out of his mouth. But yeah, that bystander is the son of this Russian boss guy. Seagal and the woman at this motel. These two guys try to kill him. He kills these two. Then he goes somewhere, makes this guy show him where the Russian boss is, and they sort of become allies. Meanwhile, Byron Mann's with this guy who's got connections between him and the uncle that's supposed to be come over there. And you can tell Byron Mann doesn't like this guy. And even Byron Mann and his group kill the women around that guy and then beat the shit out of that guy. You get to the third act where the bad cops invade the Russian mob guy's place. And you get a little bit of gunfire. Seagal shoots a couple. The bystander guy, the son of the Russian guy, he stabs one. The girl's getting taken, but Seagal stops and wrist flips a guy, does a clothesline, and uses some chopsticks and stabs the guy. I thought that was alright. It was an alright scene because some of it was shot wide enough I could see what's going on. The idea of chopsticks to the neck and slowly being pushed in and the sound effects gave it a little bit of brutality. I liked that bit. So there are bits I liked. That little fight scene where he keeps clotheslining the guy, and before that he takes the wrist and flips the guy and chops it to the neck. I thought that was an alright bit. Then earlier when the chamber of the gun. He took off his stabbing the guy in the face. I thought it was an alright bit. Seagal shoots the dirty cop. Him, the bystander, his father, the Russian mob guy, and the woman go to Byron Mann, where he's at, to save that woman's uncle. And he has some kind of alright bits. One guy gets stabbed. One decent bit, he hits a guy, and the guy's neck sort of falls right onto the saw blade. Okay. Yeah. Gets with Byron Mann, and it's a really shitty fight, though, with Byron Mann. He, like, hits the guy, flips the guy, and this is a really horribly edited fight scene. Because I couldn't understand what the fuck was going on. And, of course, with Seagal, he's invincible, so he can't get hit. So Byron Mann can't do anything, just being thrown around, some bad jumpy editing. Seagal gets the uncle, they walk out, and Byron Mann wakes up, about ready to shoot, but Seagal has a bomb and blows up the place. And then at the end, Seagal is, with that money, he's in this fancy hotel that looks like the Overlook Hotel in the summertime. And he's with that girl, so I guess they're going to be friends, lovers, I guess. Seems like so many of these movies now, Seagal has a lover or a love interest or maybe a potential love interest that's half his age. And yeah, the movie ends, and A Dangerous Man was... I've seen much worse. I've seen much better. It's mediocre, but if I gave it the pass, I just wouldn't feel right personally, because, I don't know, would I ever watch this again? Nah, but I've seen much worse. If it didn't have jumpy editing, jump cuts, if it toned down the editing department and shot the fight scenes a bit better, and if it had a couple more fight scenes that were just better, I don't want to say better staged, but again, that jump cut editing, if you didn't have the stupid dub voice for bits and pieces of the film, have to go do the entire fucking voice, and it seems like in the middle it kind of slows down, and the third act is kind of some gunfire, granted some blood squibs, I'll give it that, instead of CGI blood, I'll give it that, but it's just, I don't know, it's one of those movies that in a month, I'll forget about it in a month. It's one of those movies that in a month time, if I'd have to really think hard to remember stuff about it. But I mean, I think you can do better, of course, his golden era. And even his direct-to-video realm, yeah, I think you can do better with Urban Justice or Pistol Whipped, or I would even put Maximum Conviction or The Keeper above this. But you do a lot worse. It's kind of, yeah, yeah. And I know the next one, Born to Raise Hell, is kind of a mild rant. I mean, those are the ones that's hard to review because I can't do a full-on rage, and I can't do a... It's bad, shitty dubbing, jump cut editing, fighting. I think it's slogs in bits and pieces. And the fight with Byron Mann is pathetic. It's really horribly edited. And maybe have more fights that are more staged, or maybe that's the word I'm looking for, staged, or less jumpy. But there are definitely worse culprits of that in the Seagal direct-to-video realm. Believe me, I've seen them. Like, this is definitely better than Kill Switch. This is definitely better than Black Dawn. This is definitely better than the 7 movies that came out 2016 that featured Seagal. So, eh, eh. Anyway, I'll just keep on repeating the same things. I'll end it here. But thanks for watching. Take care. And stay tuned. There's still quite a few Seagal films to get to later.